In this short review video, we'll be going over Lecture 1 standard of compare and contrast three types of neurons, which are the efferent neurons, afferent neurons, and interneurons. So the first neuron is the afferent neuron. It's a sensory neuron that sends information to the CNS, which is the central nervous system. There's two primary types of afferent neurons, the simple sensory neurons and the complex sensory neurons. The simple sensory neurons have free nerve endings, shown below, while the complex sensory neurons have an enclosed nerve ending and layers of connective tissue. You see the complex sensory more with pressure and free nerve endings with thermo. They're just different types of afferent neurons. They just sense things, and once they feel it, they're going to send that information to the CNS, where it gets processed by the interneurons. And interneurons are central nervous system neurons that communicate with many other neurons. And in short, they integrate information. They receive a lot of input, and they send out a bunch of signals. Usually with interneurons, you tend to see a lot of dendrites and bigger axon terminals, and its main purpose is to integrate. I've already said it, but it acts like a middleman, and it exchanges information from the sensory to the effectors. That way, the effectors are able to react appropriately. And last but not least, we have the efferent neurons, also known as motor neurons, and what they are motor or autonomic neurons that carry info from the CNS to effectors. And what effectors are just things that are kind of getting affected, such as muscles or glands. And so they receive the information from the interneurons, and then they send it out to the muscle, and they just tack onto the muscle, and then they just tell the muscles what to do. Obviously, there's a much more complicated kind of thing with it, especially with contractions of the EC coupling, but this is, once again, comparing contrasting neurons. So now that we have kind of looked at all three, a general overview would look like this, where receptors in the skin would detect some stimulus, right? And so this stimulus goes, and the afferent neuron sends the information to the CNS right here, which is also known, as this is the spinal cord. I hope that looks like a vertebrae. And inside that vertebrae, there's an interneuron. And the interneuron pretty much integrates the afferent neuron into the efferent neuron. It translates the signal. It goes into the efferent neuron. And that efferent neuron is going to target effectors such as the muscle. And it's going to tell that muscle to contract, or it's going to tell that muscle to relax. And so that's just a general overview of how the three kind of work together. And then for a table, we can see more specifically what they do differently. So afferent neurons, their function is to receive sensory info, and the direction is from the skin cells, receptor cells, towards the CNS. Interneurons, the function of those are to integrate sensory info to produce a response. And the direction is, it's inside the CNS, but it's from afferent to efferent neurons. And efferent neurons, the function of efferent neurons are to send motor or autonomic messages, and this is from the CNS, the central nervous system, to effectors such as muscles, glands, or anything of the sort. Thank you.